Presented by That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster, this is Shonen Jumping the Gun, the show where we set our sights on the first chapter of a manga and decide if it's a misfire or a bullseye.
Let's see how many rounds are in this magazine. On today's episode, Saint? No, I'm just a passing beast tamer. The Invincible Saint and the Quest for Fluff.
You thought it was JoJo January, but in fact it was the Beast Arc! Welcome everybody, I am your host that respects animals from a respectable distance because I'm allergic, Moxie the Yeen. Wow, new name, I gotta get used to that. Here with my fluffy beast co-star, Isekai Sensei-Sama Brad. Brad, how you doing?
Rawr.
Rawr, XD. Nuts. And as stated in the intro, we're not doing JoJo January, and also this is technically the second episode of the Beast Arc. Beast Children was actually the first episode of it. The secret primer, episode 0.
What's the Beast Arc, you may ask?
It is manga that have the word beast in them, depending on localization.
It's the official English title.
It's the official one? Okay, that's good to know. There's a lot of that, and because it's a 9 episode, we are recovering an isekai from our Isekai Sensei-Sama over here. So Brad, tell me about this one.
Well, let's
give our proper episode 1 of the Beast Arc.
For once, I actually did write some stuff down here.
Cool, because that's your job on the 9 episodes. I'm glad you did your job.
So we're covering Seijo-sama, Ie Toresugari no Mamanotsukai Desu Zetai Muteki no Seijo wa Mofu Mofu to Tabe Osuru.
Okay, but explain it to me like I'm 5.
It's an isekai about someone who is supposed to be a saint, but they want to be a beast tamer instead.
Okay, can you give me the real name, though? I say real name. Can you give me the localized English name that has beast in it?
I mean, I did that at the beginning.
Truth. Okay. Okay, mister.
But yeah, so this is a web and then light novel that has been now drawn as a manga. So written by the same person, the whole thing, Inumajin. Inumajin, yeah. The light novel was illustrated by Falmero, and then this manga was drawn by Ida Toy.
Nice and short, nice and simple.
So this started in March of 2020. So not super long, although 4 years, I guess. But
that's pretty long.
There's currently 4 volumes out, and the 5th volume is coming out on January 21st.
Is that in English or is that in general?
That's the English.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So yeah, this is it's a Yen Press series. If people are familiar with Yen Press, I wasn't able to find a place to read it digitally in English that was official. But you can buy the volumes officially in English. Official English. The Queen's
English.
Other than that, there's not a whole lot to go on. So, yeah, we should jump into the summary.
The summary. I had a new alliteration for the Moxie name, and I've since forgotten it. Moxie's Mach Speed. I had the rest of it. I had to bust out my thesaurus for it.
Mach 5.
Get in the Mach 5. What's a word for story? Or like a tale? There's going to be a lot of tales in this arc. That means it's time for Moxie's Mach Speed Manga Summary. I made it work. Kanata is a girl. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. No, that's not how we do things here. Kanata Aldasari has been waiting for this day for a long time. Today is the day of her selection ceremony, the day her job class is bestowed by God. Kanata is incredibly gifted and hardworking, so her teachers and everyone that knows her expects her to have the class of Saint. As she patiently waits her turn, her classmates go up one by one. Each person is given a choice of 2 classes, and while all of them seem to have the choice between Monster Tamer and something else, everyone is vehemently against becoming a Monster Tamer. The class is looked down on, even by the priest conducting the ceremony. Kanata's turn soon comes around, and as she petitions the crystal ball for her choices, there is a massive flash of light as thousands of choices spring up in front of her. She frantically searches the text as everyone looks on in awe. The priest, dumbstruck, comments on there being so many advanced classes that he's never even seen before, among what he guesses are 100,000 choices. And there it is, the Saint class! Both the priest and Kanata exclaim at the same time, but the priest notices that Kanata is looking in a completely different direction. Kanata makes her selection, and within that wall of light, no one saw what she chose. The priest desperately asked her to tell them what she picked. Why, Monster Tamer, of course. What were you thinking? It's in the title. Come on, guys. Freaking, catch up. The surrounding clergy is taken aback, but quickly their shock turns to loud disbelief. How could she have chosen such a lowly class as Monster Tamer? What was she thinking? What were they thinking? They explain a bunch of the drawbacks of the class, but Kanata isn't fazed. She explained that it's a class she always wanted. Not only that, but acquiring that class is the only reason she went to the academy. So now that she's got that, she's quitting. I'm going to take another one at that. Not only that, but acquiring that class is the only reason she went to the academy. So now she's quitting. As she skips out the door, her each bounding step takes her quite far, and as the priests watch, they wonder if her stats have actually weakened from taking that job class. As Kanata skips off through the city, we are shown a flashback when she was, reincarnated. In her previous life, she was sickly and spent almost her whole life in a hospital hooked up to machines. But she was a positive girl and saw the good in things. So she was content with the love from her parents and the care she received from the hospital staff. In her flashback, she's speaking to God, who seems to be dumbfounded by how nonchalant she is about how unfortunate her life had been. But she did have one regret. She never got to fluff up cute animals. Frankly, she was obsessed with animals to a degree some might call perverted. Okay, mister. Word choice. On purpose. And so this god reincarnates her into the other world with amazing cheat abilities so she can accomplish her dream of surrounding herself with mofu mofu, as she says. But there is one problem. She's so powerful in her new life that all the animals are scared of her. Despair. But her loving parents encourage her that she just needs to become a monster tamer, and then animals will flock to her. We return to the present to find Kanata in the middle of a forest. She's looking to find some fluffy animals to befriend. She's been waiting her whole new life and most of her previous one for this. In her fervor, she didn't even notice the guards as she left the town gates. But now they've caught up to her and explained that she shouldn't be out in these woods by herself, since there are lots of monsters that a young girl like her can't take on, no matter what class she was bestowed. But after hearing her name, they take pause, as they've heard of Kanata, from all the outrageous rumors surrounding her, as well as some verifiable facts, such as her winning the Royal Sword Championship 3 years in a row. While the guards are deliberating how they should get her to return to town, Kanata slips off. A short ways on, there's a loud cry from a monster, exciting Kanata that she finally found some fluff. What she comes upon is a scene of 2 giant bird monsters harassing a small fluff ball. By now, the guards have caught up and explained how dangerous these giant birds are, to the point of having a huge bounty on them. Kanata has heard enough. There's a Fluffy in danger! To the guard's shock, she swiftly charges in and smacks the shit out of those giant birds. Turning her attention to the small monster she just saved, she finds it to be some kind of small cat and is immediately struck dumb by its cuteness. The bird monsters were actually still kicking and try to attack again, but Kanata just grabs them by the beaks while still obsessing over the little cat's cuteness. Rather than just obliterating the birds, she scolds them, completely overwhelming them with what can be best described as her aura. She then nonchalantly heals the cat with chantless magic. Remembering how animals were always scared of her, she extends her hand and offers partnership to the cat, ready to be rejected. But the cat steps into her outstretched hand as she struggles to not lose herself to fluffing. The guards tell her she can't take the cat with her since it's a monster, but she explains that she knows all about the laws and that as a beast tamer she is allowed to be accompanied by monsters. The guards, once again dumbfounded, can't believe she's a monster tamer since she's so strong. Kanata explains that her stats did go down, but given how strong she was, it didn't seem to make much of a difference. As Kanata sets off with dreams of a fluffy paradise in her head and a new companion in her arms, the guards are left to deal with the knocked-out bird monsters, and we are left to speculate what antics Kanata will get up to. What kind of monsters will she find, and is this little cat monster just a simple cat?
There you have it.
Brad, I had a great time with this manga. I even tanking all of the normal isekai bullshit that pissed me off as I was reading it. I had such a good time with the premise that I just sort of tanked it and knocked it away and then just kept going and had a great time.
To be fair, the isekai portion of this is very small.
It is, but you know how much even a little bit of that thing will spoil my soup in an instant.
Yeah.
Had you read this before our delving into, had you read this one before delving into the figuring out the Beast arc?
Yeah, so I've been reading this one for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. And when we were talking about, we got to find Beast ones, I was like, oh crap, what am I going to do for the 9? And then I found this one on my list and I was like, oh, perfect.
It's a perfect fit. I think it fits in my, what is it, Isekai Shukaku, Banned from Another World, where it's just like, yeah, fuck that Isekai shit. We're just kind of doing this story. And like all this, like it's the F all the structures, because it's all the video gamey structure that like usually is what like annoys me, or it's just like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, F that. I'm so strong. I don't have to give a shit about any of it. I just want to pet all the fuzzy animals. And
well, and really the only thing they do here is the whole like class/skill job
but
thing.
There's also this still like, yeah, but it's also the whole like, God, you had a rough existence, so God gave you a boon. And I like that here because it's like, she actually had a rough existence that wasn't her doing it all, where it's literally like she was sick with a thing and she was stuck with a hospital.
As opposed to just being holed up in your room.
As opposed to just being a fucking nerd, neat, whatever, where it's like, you could leave. Like, I know you probably have some mental stuff going on, but like, you could work on stuff, you know, you could be doing something. And also just like pushing somebody out of the way of a truck is not an instant redemption in my heart. If Hitler saved you from dying by a truck, would he be isekai and get a cheat skill? I know, I'm sorry. Godwin's Law is just so prepped and ready in my holster at literally any moment
I think there's a huge difference
there
between
always is. That's why
a nerd holed up in his room and Hitler.
It's just fun to instantly escalate to the max. It ruins conversations every time.
The idea that someone should be rewarded because they had a hard life because they were a NEET is pretty ridiculous.
I think it's just that's the thing, and that's a lot of the thing. But like I think there's something to that. But I think this is the first time like
it's escapism.
I think this is the first time I felt it, because it's like, A, she was sick and stuck in, like she literally couldn't go out, and B, she had like a really good attitude about it.
Yeah.
That she was like positive about it, like, and it made me go like, oh, I like you, we would get along,
right? Instead
of just like it's another protag coon.
Yeah, she's not insufferable.
No, it's very refreshing.
And obviously I have all the Future Vision here, so I'm gonna say a bunch of stuff that's Future Vision, but like, she has a great attitude all the time, and it doesn't matter that she's incredibly capable and strong. Like, she is so set on her goal that all the good that she does around her is completely in service to like getting to the fluffy.
Her smacking the birds around. Well, it's just like, I'm about petting that cat, and I'm like, I love this. It's like what was her name from Tiny Toons? Elmira.
Yeah,
it was like that energy, but like different, less torture, but it was like, she's fawning over an animal, but is beating up the other ones like Elmira would beat up the pet she actually wanted to spend time with. And I just love that she gives them a stern talking to. Like, it was just such a funny Looney Tunes bit, and all this thing of all them like, she's gonna be the next great, she could be a hero or a sage or a priest or all these incredible classes that's like, and you know what, I respected it because it was about like, I'm living life for me. Like, I already had a life that I didn't get, so I'm living this one. Screw all your stupid systems. I'm doing this for me, and I really appreciated that.
And really screw all the stupid systems, because she keeps going around and doing stuff that a saint would do without being the saint.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me what I'm... Yeah, she's just that good.
Yeah.
I love there's things like, I've never even seen some of these classes before, and it's like... That's why it's like when these are real world, like these are quote-unquote real places, but they're video games, it's like... What does that even mean in a literal sense? What does it mean to get a class and to get a stat boost and like,
right,
in an actual context?
I think it's like a blessing.
Yeah,
it's like, here's you have your base stats, but we're gonna give you a boost.
I do love the idea. It's like
area.
All your stats are low, and it's like she was OP to begin with, so it's like what's an OP if you take 5 points off of all of your stats when you have 999 in all of them?
I do have some bad news, though.
Oh, no.
This is a harem isekai.
Yes, but it's yeah, no, but the context is different because they're pets. Unless she starts building a harem of furries, which in case I'm still listening.
No, it's just they're just animals. Except, actually, that cat is the demon lord.
Dude, spoilers.
You learn it pretty early on.
But like, because they imply, like, you get the vibe of, like, there's something more with this cat that we're not seeing.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have guessed that right out of the gate, but I could.
Actually, up until, I'm not sure what volume I'm in the scanlation, but as far as I've gotten, she's only picked up one other animal.
Wow,
which
slow burn.
happens to be the holy beast Fenrir, but
that's fine.
Whatever.
I like that.
Which she also doesn't know.
Please don't give Brad. Genuinely, please give me no more future vision. When I finished chapter 1, I was ready for chapter 2, and I went, I'm a professional. This is something that Brad has shared with me. So, and as opposed to the other way around, where I usually just go, I read the volume. I went, I have to be responsible this time. I was very irresponsible as a podcaster through all of the sports arc, where I just read ahead every time, which admittedly was because in the majority of those cases, I literally had the tankobon from the library, and what am I going to do? Sit on it and wait and not be able to read the rest of it? That'd be silly.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Not even out of like a, because sometimes it's like, I'm kind of curious what happens next, but I'm not like on board. I'm not like jazzed. And this one was like, I could just roll right into chapter 2. Like, I've been in Shonen doldrums, and this was like a really nice breath of fresh air. And I stopped myself, and I was like very proud of myself. It's like, good job, Moxie. You were a responsible, podcaster for once on your own show.
It's not that you've never liked any of the isekai, but definitely not to this degree.
Definitely not to the point where I was like, I'm excited to read chapter 2, like right now.
Yeah.
And that all of the isekai bullshit, we got it out of the way, or I thought it was funny the way they subverted it.
It really doesn't come up at all.
No, because it was just, because that's, I think a lot of them are just, that is the setup to get them to the story they want to tell, but they don't know how to get there. And I feel like in most cases, it's just like, just bless a baby. Like,
and that's really what this is. It's just like,
but it gets
hey, you had a hard life.
This is like you.
Here's your bonus.
Yeah.
And now you're just, because she doesn't even go, oh, in my previous life, I had this knowledge. I knew this thing. So
no.
It's literally just
I suffered in life and I got the boon.
Right.
But it worked because I liked her, and he was just like, that's cool. I just want to do this one thing, and it's like, as stated in the intro, as an appreciator of animals from a distance, a respectable distance, because it's like, I'm allergic. I grew up with pets. If I touch them and touch my face, I start having a bad time. If I'm in a house that has pets in it, I start having an allergically bad time. Not like I die or break out in hives, but just like I can't pet fluffy things. I have to be like, yes, thank you for revisiting, but I can't touch you, or else I have to instantly go to the bathroom and wash my hands. So like, there is a certain amount of like wish fulfillment of like, yes, pet all the animals. This is fantastic.
I was thinking, with Isekai Shikaku, you didn't pick up on the manga, but you enjoyed the anime.
I mean, I thought we were leaving the manga for. I mean, I don't know if I would read a little bit of it just to see what the vibe was and the art was related to the anime, but I feel like I've got what I've needed from the anime pretty well.
Yeah.
But I like Isekai Shikaku because it follows my heart of like, these guys are bullshit, and all these guys are bullshit, and they should reverse die. It's almost like I wrote an entire fanfic before I knew about that, where an old Italian man literally does that. Though I don't remember if that ever actually got out, or that was more just in concept. Bless you, Truxon. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, because I mean, obviously the first chapter is where you present the character and you set the situation up, and like, here's the gag, and like the gag can be funny, but it needs to have more tricks. But I trust for it to have them.
Yeah. I mean, even with my future vision, I can't really tell you much of where it goes, because there are things occurring. There's been, these little arcs that they're doing a thing. But up until this point, there's not really an overarching, like, thing to solve.
There is. World. I need to pet all the animals.
Well,
Babaka.
There is something going on that we get hints of. But even 4 volumes in, there's no kind of, like, this is where we're going with this. It really is just like, she's running around trying to find fluffies and dealing with problems that arise in her path. I would say the most concrete arc we've got so far has to deal with another beast tamer that she comes across.
Oh, that's exciting.
So, and then like their exchanges and everything. But like, yeah, it's not complicated.
No, it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
I also just love everybody gets their class and beast tamer. Like just that. They get different classes as their second one.
I don't think there's any...
I love that. It's so stupid. It's so wonderful because it's literally just, look at this fucking shit class. I'm never taking this. And it's like, our heroine's going to take it and she's going to make it the best.
I don't think we've really got an explanation of that. But it is funny because you get the idea from that.
That's just to sell the gag. This is one this is selling the bit.
Yeah, sell the gag, but also to the extent of like God is trying to get people to be beast tamers.
They're trying to communicate there's something special about beast tamer, so it's like you could take it's like your prizes on Anime Podcaster Speed Date. You can take this horrible thing that I've made that's funny, or you could take the thing that's actually the prize. And everybody's like, no, I want to take the funny thing. I don't want to take beast tamer. I want to take the funny thing.
Right.
And God's trying to present you.
No, seriously, take beast tamer.
Isekai Sensei-Sama Kami. Isekai Sensei-Kami? Whatever, we'll workshop it. But yeah, to our I'm looking over at our discussion things. I guess where it goes is that she gets more animals. That's fun.
Yeah, but no,
a slow burn. Hey, we had an entire sports arc where sometimes it takes a long time to build the team
That's
to actually
true.
play a
Yeah,
sports game. Yeah. You got to slow burn it, or else you get everybody, and then like what? You're done. It's in the chase. We haven't caught the mail truck yet. There's so much more chase to do right now, and that's exciting. I'm hoping I get more Looney Tunes segments. I mean, you've already told me, and it's a kitten. It's par for the course. There's less isekai garbage. There's more just fun, rollicking adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked it. Art was fine. I don't recall anything specific with art.
It's fairly standard.
Good. It's a step away from whatever generic is, because maybe I don't know if I was just in a very good open mood when I read it, but I don't remember being like, gosh, it's this design again.
No, it's like if someone took the generic style and like rounded it a bit,
give it a hint of personality.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be
more
in spades.
cartoony than
not everything
normal.
needs to be the most incredibly detailed or most stylized thing. I just need a little bit of juice. It is wild to me that this was a light novel, because I feel like such of the bit is like, here is me drawing a cute animal for you to look at. And it just feels, and to pet. And it just seems wild that it's like, I wrote a book with just words about this and no pictures of the cute animals I want to pet. And it's like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Also, scanlation, solid work. I know chapter 1's always the best one, a lot of them, but hopefully it retains that quality. Because I had a good time with it. But yeah, I think we come into our feeling section. I haven't fully workshopped this, but just from a lot of the conversations we had over the sports arc, like I know I got rid of the "do you think this will survive" stuff because I thought that was garbage because it didn't help anything. Mm-hmm. But I want to try to separate out, mostly for you, but also for me. It's an exercise for me. It's for you. I literally just want to separate these because I know you have different feelings about things. Is your thinky feelings, like your judgment feelings, and your feely feelings. Mm-hmm. So like you can go, I think this is good, I don't like it. The other sports ones, but I feel like Blue Lock hit us really hard with that, where we both thought it's like, technically there is nothing wrong with Blue Lock, and I could understand how people like it. I don't think Blue Lock is bad, but feelings wise, I thought it was rancid and want nothing to do with it. So there was a way to communicate. I wanted 2 meters to capture both of those.
And I feel like that's something that I need, because there's so many times.
Because every time I ask your feeling, you tell me you're trying to be empirical about it. I'm like, that's not how your feelings work.
I try to merge them together all the time.
They're two separate things.
Which is important, because a lot of times I'm like, I don't care for this, but I think it's done really well. Or, hey, this pokes me in just the right spot and it makes me really happy, but it's like not any good. And so having those separated means I can say, this one, objectively, I think is good, bordering on great. But I feel that this is amazing.
Okay.
It makes me happy.
It's doing its job. I think my sobs and my obs, my subjective and my objective, I'm going to say thinks and feels.
Yeah.
I feel it's great. We're going to start with that.
Okay.
I had a great time with this. I was delighted. Like I said, I wanted to rush ahead and keep reading, and I stopped myself, and I'm excited to go read it probably tomorrow or probably the next day.
So professional.
What?
You're so professional.
So professional. Wow. My objectives, my thoughts. I don't know if I'd call it great. I mean, obviously I need to see where it goes. I would say good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, I guess it's like, it's the thing of like, if you're into like cute fluffy animal and the setup of it, I think it's good. I don't think it's like world build, like incredible. Like, oh my gosh, I am really excited, but it feels very in a personal way. So,
like, I don't think there's anything.
It's solid. I would call it solid.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything in here that's like, you're going to learn something, or it's got a great moral to it, or anything like that. It's just like, no, it's just a good time.
Yeah, and you can do that. And that's another thing we can capture with these the 2 meters now. Yeah. Just because, like I said, that whole sports arc was just like, I can't get you to say you don't like them and have that reflected in your thought rating, because it's like, it's your feelings. That's how you feel about it. You've been respectful to it. It's okay. We both apologized to Slam Dunk fans many times.
Sounds like you'd buy the volume.
I would buy the volume. I was ready to buy the volume. Whether I will actually buy the volume, I guess because we always try to cut in for this. I would buy the volume, in that I would, if I would have to do that to keep reading it, but I'm a degenerate. And also, I don't think this is something I would want on my shelf that I would revisit. My like, I don't like having a lot of physical meat around that I know I'm not going to get back to, that is not like uber important to me. But this is I want to move forward, but this is like, if I could get it from the library, that'd be my dream situation. But there's no way this is at the library.
I really wish more places did digital volumes at a reasonable discount from the physical, because that would be such an easy way to support so many of these. Because you're right, it's like, we don't have infinite space for the hundreds of manga that we read. Like, we need digital bookshelves.
Even I don't like digital bookshelf. I just don't like clutter, whether real or ones and zeros. But I would buy the first volume to know, and then donate it to the library. I guess that's a good thing. I should donate these things to the library. I'll donate all my Akira books.
This might actually be at Barnes & Noble.
Oh, really?
I feel like I remember seeing it.
Maybe. I have to go back to check more Beastark stuff. Okay. But yeah, that's we do not have to play High Noon. We are very much in alignment. It's very refreshing. It's very much to just be like vibing on something. It's like, yeah. Feels good. Coming out of that sports arc. Feels good.
Is this the first Issa 9s that you...
have we done that, or you've been sitting on that one?
No, I just came up with that just now.
Master Wizard. Isekai Sensei-Sama Brad over here.
Is this the first Issa 9s that you've like actually enjoyed?
Like truly liked?
Because the Magical Revolution girl, you sort of came around to that, but you haven't.
I've reread it. I haven't thought about that again. No. This is the first one where I'm like, and not in like I'll read it because you're my friend, or like I'm kind of curious and you're selling it on me. It's generally like, for me and my purposes, I want to read more of it.
Speaking of that one, we did immediately watch the first episode of the anime.
We did.
Which resolved a lot of the issues, because it sort of structured things differently in a way that like made more sense for, this is the beginning of this thing.
I know we watched that. I don't know if I was sleepy. I have like no memory of it. Or maybe just because it was so close in time, the manga information and the anime information just sort of merged into a homunculus in my head, and then collectively they became blurry. But yeah. I wonder if this would get an anime.
It could.
It could.
Yeah.
We already read over the winter releases and how many of them were light novels, so why not this one?
Actually, given the time frame for this, it would make sense that it would be getting an anime in the next year or two.
Probably, yeah, spring or summer season. Yeah. I'm in for it. And with that, we're at the end of the episode, so thank you everybody for listening, and Brad, hit me with them plugs.
Well, as always, we need to thank Sugoi Mart for partnering with us. Sugoi Mart's a retailer of Japanese snacks, drinks, toys, and merch. All kinds of stuff you can't get outside of Japan. Our listeners can use the link in the description or use code APR15 at checkout to get 15% off their first order. We want to hear what you think, so find us on social media, which you can find all the links for on our website, animepodcasterreincarnation.com. Definitely come check out our Discord, where you can chat with us. And don't forget to check out Patreon as well. Our supporters get perks like getting to vote on which series we cover on Heron Addiction. We have bonus episodes, as well as getting the high-quality stereo version of the podcast early. And, of course, we have to shout out our patrons. First and foremost, at our noble tier, we have our marquee, Sir Cake Dwarf. At our reincarnator tier, we've got Moon. And last but not least, at our commoner tier, we've got Kill Hour and Rena. So thank you so much to all our patrons.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, everybody, again, for listening. Make sure you listen to all of the podcasts on our feed. And, Brad, allergies be damned, I'm going to go pet that cat. I gotta remember I'm Moxie now. I gotta get that habit in me because I'm gonna say Kermit all the fucking time. Aldasari?
Hold on a second.
You even have like a read thing in here, and that sounds like an Italian mobster's last name. Aldasari.
That's correct.
Really? Okay, that seems right. Friend of the show, Lolly, has a cat named Zagreus, so I'm just so used to cat with Z name.
That's, yeah.
Adorable cat that gets into shenanigans being shouted.
One of these days. I'm never ready for it.
In the same way that I'm never ready for my podcast responsibilities.
Oh, no. You're going to get a live reaction here. Jimmy Carter passed away.
I'm sorry, I just did this into my little thing. Oh, no. I forgot he was still alive.
100 years old.
That's a good run.
Yep. He didn't want to stick around for January.
I don't blame him.
Pet that cat. Gotta pet that cat.
Pet that cat. Is there a...
I feel like there's a Tim and Eric thing.
Oh, that checks out.